Hello everybody, how are you doing? I had a comment in one of my videos and this person was kind of like telling me what happened to their life and all these different things, and it brought up this moment where she was talking about spirit guides and all these different things, and it brought up this moment for me, and I actually commented back to her, and I said I was going to make a video about this. So here I am making a video about the first time that I actually had I saw my main spirit guide like face to face, like literally here, physically in front of me, but spiritually. And I thought I would share it with you guys. I hope you don't mind. I hope you'll find it interesting, but maybe share your stories as well. Comment below and share what you've seen, share your experiences. So with regards to my spirit guides and how I actually connected to them, I actually was around my spirit guide my whole life, but I was a child at the time and I never knew, I was playing with them. I would play with them always. I was the youngest and I had only two much older brothers. So I was kind of like a single child, only child in a way. And I was a girl as well. So I played a lot alone with my spirit guide. And my spirit guide at the time was also a child. And as I grew older, my spirit guide actually aged with me, which was, I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but think about it. And then many of you guys also asked me about my finger, which you can see I've lost my finger. So when I was 11 years old, story time indeed, hey, I was playing with a big group of friends. I was very wild, 11. I was running around the streets. I had like a gang of people that I used to play with, and we were playing on one of those pool chairs that you lay on, and we decided to turn it into a seesaw. So this chair started to rock up and down with all these children behind me, and I was holding onto the front of it like this. But they stack those chairs, so these legs fold like this so you can stack them. And as this chair went up with all the children on the back with all that weight, the leg collapsed and it got my finger and it sort of crushed it, and I lost my finger. I got very, very sick with it. And I remember being home for like a month. I was about a week in hospital, 2 operations, and I was very, very sick. I think I had like some infection that I picked up on. And at that time, I think I had a fever. I don't remember what happened. I just had a fever. And that was when I really saw my spirit guides as adults, not as small anymore children. And after that, I never saw them for a while. I lived my life. I was a teenager. I got into a relationship, and it was an abusive relationship. Very abusive. And I was young as well, as in my 20s. And I wasn't working. I was like, at that time, I was like a housewife, and I was in this abusive relationship. And this person was so manipulative, so abusive. You guys out there who have been in it, And I got very depressed and I didn't know what to do. And I got to this point where after one really bad incident, I felt so worthless and so helpless and so everything that I had decided that I would maybe end it all. I don't want to say anything too much about it because of YouTube, you know what I mean? But it wasn't good. And I was like, I'm giving up. I'm going to give up. I don't want this anymore. I don't know how to solve it. And when you're young, you don't have that wisdom. So I had made I had like a journal that I was writing in, and I made plans to, end it all. And I actually, went to sleep that night. I had planned this. Now I'd really put my mind on doing this. And I was living with this person. So this person was sleeping next to me, and I got this really weird feeling that night. I heard, because I'm clairaudient. So at that time, I didn't know I was clairaudient. So I heard from very far the sound of like a heartbeat, like doof, doof, coming. And I woke up and I started to panic. I felt and I could hear something was coming, literally from up the road. And then I heard my outside gate, because we have walls, opening. And I heard it coming and I was starting to panic, and I fell asleep again. And I remember rolling around in bed and I heard my front door opening, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack. You know what I mean? Someone's in the house. I'm starting to panic, but I can't do anything. Then I heard my bedroom door opening, because my bedroom door had a little squeak. So it'd kind of be like, wee, if it was raining a lot, it would get squeaky. And I got scared. I saw somebody walking into the room, and you get into that paralysis state. A lot of that paralysis, like sleep paralysis, it's actually not sleep paralysis, okay? You are experiencing spiritual things. And I looked at this person, like walking in my bedroom, a very tall man with like kind of like shoulder length hair, maybe a bit of an olive skin person. And it was very bright because I remember it was full moon. And we had sort of our curtain open. I could literally see this person in my bedroom. And I looked at this person at that time. That's when I got curious because I didn't feel fear at that time. And I just looked at this person like, who are you? Because I had a feeling this person wasn't a person. And then I closed my eyes, I opened my eyes. He was standing right next to the bed and I had no fear. I relaxed again. And when I opened my eyes again, this person was right above me, like staring down at me. And they took their hand and they touched my cheek like this. And to this day, if I talk about it, I can feel the touch on my cheek. And the energy that I got from them was so much love. It was this energy of, you are so loved. You are needed. You have a purpose. We love you. It was beautiful. It was another feeling. And then at that moment, I was like staring at this person, getting this energy. And I happened to look down and I saw that they were standing right through my body. So they just walked straight into me. And I was just like freaking out at that moment. And he exited immediately, like he was just gone. And I woke up screaming and I told my partner at that time, like, this is what happened. And he was like, whatever, why would he care anyway? And a few days later, it happened again. He came again because I think I still had it in my mind to maybe do what I wanted to do. And he came again. But this time I was aware. I was like so aware. I was like, whoa, he's coming again. And I got scared again, just something, I didn't know what was happening. So he came again. I heard him coming into the house and I think it's how he would warn me because I didn't realize I was clairaudient. I would hear the sounds of things opening in the house or doors opening and closing to warn me that I'm coming. Can you hear me? And when the bedroom door opened, it made that squeaking sound again. And my partner, who was in the bed with me, jumped out of the bed and switched on the light and screamed, somebody just opened the door. And nobody was there. But he said somebody just opened the door. He was freaking out because he even heard it. And that for me was like the biggest confirmation I ever had in my life that what I had seen was not a dream. What I had seen was not sleep paralysis because he had heard it. And I told him, I said, I told you that somebody was coming here. And I think it terrified him. It terrified him. Within 6 months, I was out of that relationship and I was good and I was happier than what I ever was. And I think that was the real start of my spiritual journey. And that's how I was introduced to my spirit guide. He does have a name and I know the spirit guide from another lifetime. He has not been incarnated on this planet for many, maybe thousands of years. Okay, because many thousands of years back, I'm a very old soul and they have already moved away. That's why he came in to become my spirit guide and guide me in this lifetime. So I always think about that. I always wanted to share it with you guys. And I think about it now, and I went through many years after that as well, wondering what purpose, why am I here? And only years later, I began to understand that even though I was doing many businesses, doing many things, I was always a witch. I was always a witch. I was always spiritual. I always had tarot cards. I always had crystals. I always had herbs burning everywhere. And it's always been me. And only later when I really began to say, you know what, I'm going to become fully me, that I really understand why I'm here and what the purpose is. And this lesson for you guys as well, at that moment when you're in despair, at that moment when you feel like you've got nothing to keep you going, and at that moment when you feel like, what's my reason, what's my purpose, why am I even here? You're here because you do have a purpose. You do have a purpose. You are here if you are still in this environment of earthly planet, you have a greater purpose. And sometimes in the moment that you are in, you do not see it, but you have to trust, you have to have that faith, and you have to know, even from my own story and maybe from the other stories that people are going to be telling down in the comments, Do you see you are not alone? You have a spiritual, sometimes team with you of people that are guiding you and they are helping you. And I can even hear them as I'm speaking to you because I'm clairaudient, so I hear that static sound in my ears. They are vibrating around me as they are vibrating around you right now. Thank you so much for listening to my story time. Share your story below. I want to hear your mystical experience, your enlightenment moment, your moment where you were just like, wow, this really changed my perception on how I see this world and what I believe in. Thank you so much for listening to it. I will see you guys in your next tarot reading with me, Deborah. Bye.